Hello, dear students. In this video, we are going to discuss extension of range of meters. Once a meter is designed, actually it can be capable to measure a few current in the order of milliamperes, or if it is a voltmeter, it can be measured up to small voltages up to 1 volt. But in practical conditions, we need to measure higher values of currents and voltages. So for that purpose, this existing designed meter can be used to measure the practical quantities. For that, we need to extend the range of the meter. So to extend the range of the meter, we have to add a resistor in series or parallel according to the meter. If it is a ammeter, we need to add a resistance in parallel with the existing PMMC ammeter or MI type ammeter. To extend the range of voltmeter, we need to add a resistor in series with the existing basic meter. So how to add the resistance? What value of resistance to be added in series or parallel to get the required quantity of measurement? So those things we will discuss in today's video lesson. So very important on this today's video lesson. Frequently they are asking the problems on the board exams as well as in competitive exams. Frequently they are asking questions on these type of problems. So in the previous class we have discussed regarding the construction and working of moving iron type instrument. Construction and working of moving iron type instrument. Actually, this instrument will be used to measure AC as well as DC quantities. It can able to measure both the alternating current quantities as well as the direct current quantities, but it will be mainly used for measuring alternating current quantities. To measure direct current, we are going for PMMC because to measure DC, PMMC is accurate. In this today's video class, as we discussed, we are going to discuss the extension of range of ammeter and voltmeter. Actually, ammeter is a device which will measure the current, and voltmeter is a device which is measuring voltage across a component. But when the devices are manufactured, they can able to measure small quantities of currents and voltages. To measure the practical values, we need to extend the range of the meters. For that, how to extend, we are going to discuss in this today's video lesson. So after extending the range, we are going to solve simple problems on extending the range of ammeter and voltmeter. So this is the basic ammeter which we have discussed in the previous class. So it is a attraction type moving iron instrument. So by seeing we are having only one moving iron piece. So that's why we can tell it is a attraction type moving iron instrument. It is consisting of the moving iron piece and this is the control weight, this is the balancing weight, this is spindle. On this spindle, pointer is attached. This pointer is moving on the scale. For this spindle, air friction damping system is attached. This is air friction damping system. Okay, so we will discuss the differences between moving coil instrument and moving iron instrument. So this is very important in examinations. They are frequently asking compare moving coil instrument and moving iron instrument. Okay, so the moving coil instrument is used to measure direct quantities only. It is used to measure only DC. But coming to moving iron, it can be able to measure AC as well as DC. Here we are using the spring control method. That's why the scale is uniform. And in moving iron, the scale is not uniform. The moving coil instrument is costlier one. Moving iron instrument is cheaper. The moving coil instrument is not simple in construction, and this moving iron instrument is simple in construction. So here the eddy current damping is used. In moving iron, air friction damping is used. In moving coil, the coil is always made up of thin wire with a few turns. In moving iron, the coil is made up of according to the value of current and voltage. So in the construction, we have discussed all these points. So for every point, we need to discuss how it will be in moving coil and moving iron. Coming to supply, coming to type of scale, coming to cost, and regarding construction, regarding damping system used, and how the coil is made up of. So like this, for each point, we are comparing. In moving coil, we are using permanent magnet. Permanent magnet is used. In moving iron, electromagnet is used. And this moving coil is more sensitive instrument. This moving iron is less sensitive. This moving coil consumes less power, and this moving iron consumes more power. It is more accurate, and it is somewhat accurate because the stray magnetic fields will affect the performance of the instrument. The controlling torque is produced by spring control method. In this, the controlling torque is produced either spring control or gravity control. In olden days, they are using the gravity control method. In recent days, it will be replaced with a spring control method. Spring control method. Because to make a uniform scale, they are using spring control method. So these are the few comparisons between moving coil instrument and moving iron instrument. Now we will see the advantages of moving iron instruments. Actually, these are very important questions in board exams. They are frequently asking. That's why I'm again repeating these advantages and disadvantages. The moving iron instruments are cheap, robust, and simple in construction. These instruments can be used for both AC and DC quantities. These instruments are reasonably accurate. The moving iron instruments possesses high operating torque, and these instruments can withstand overloads momentarily for a small amount of time. These instruments can withstand overloads. Coming to disadvantages, disadvantages of moving iron instruments. The scale of moving iron instrument is non-uniform. That means the scale is cramped one. That is, it is crowded at the beginning. Therefore, the accurate readings are not possible at this end. So, in the starting portion, scale is cramped. So, readings may not be accurate at that point of time. These instruments are not sensitive. For small changes, the movement in deflection is not that much accurate. So these are not that much sensitive. Power consumption is quite high. Power consumption is quite high in moving iron instruments. Power consumption is quite high. The errors are introduced due to change in frequency in case of AC measurements. So these are the few disadvantages of the moving iron instruments. Now we are going to enter how to extend the range of meters. To extend the range of a meter, we are connecting a resistor in parallel to the existing meter. To increase the range of voltmeter, we are adding a series resistance in series with the basic meter. So that series resistance we are calling it as a multiplier, and the resistance connected in parallel to voltmeter is called a shunt. We are going to see how to extend. The range of electrical measuring instruments, whether ammeter or voltmeter, are limited by the currents which are carried by the coils of the instrument's safety. For example, a moving coil of the instrument can carry a maximum current of about 50 milliamperes safely, and the potential drop across moving coil is about 50 millivolts. That means the range is minimum 50 milliamperes if it is used for as a meter, and 50 millivolts if it is used as an voltmeter. The range is minimum. Hence, it becomes necessary that the current and voltage being measured be reduced and brought to within the range of instrument. That means actually if we want to measure a current of 20 amperes, that current we need to reduce to 50 milliamperes. so that the meter can able to measure that much current. If you are measuring 20 volts, we have to reduce that voltage to 50 millivolts so that the meter can able to measure the voltage. So how to reduce the currents and voltages we are going to see. There are mainly four common devices used for extending the range of instruments. They are known as shunts, multipliers, current transformers, and potential transformers. So in this video class, we will mainly focus on the first two. Shunts, it is used to extend the range of ammeter, and the multipliers, it is used to extend the range of voltmeter. So how we are extending, we are going to see. Shunts, the range of an ammeter can be extended by connecting a low resistance called shunt. Actually, to the ammeter, we are connecting a resistor of low resistance in parallel. This resistance we are calling it as shunt. The range of an ammeter can be extended by connecting a low resistance called shunt connected in parallel with the ammeter. And the shunt bypasses the extra current and allows only safe current to flow through the ammeter. ammeter. Actually, this shunt resistance will offer low resistance. Because of low resistance, the instrument current will flow through the parallel shunt, and safe range of current will be going through the meter. In this way, we are bypassing the extra currents through shunt. When coming to properties of these shunts are very important. The temperature coefficient should be low. Temperature coefficient should be low. Its resistance should not vary with the time. Should carry current without excessive temperature rise. They should carry current without excessive temperature rise. Should have low thermal EMF with copper. Actually, here the resistance which we are connecting in parallel is having low resistance. Low resistance. So if the temperature of the resistor varies with respect to uh, resistance varies with respect to temperature, it will cause inappropriate readings. So for that one, we are using shunts. So the property should be, it should not, its resistance should not change with respect to time. Okay. Multipliers. The range of voltmeter can be extended by connecting a high resistance called multiplier. Multiplier in series with a voltmeter coil. Multipliers. The range of voltmeter can be extended by connecting a high resistance called multiplier in series with the voltmeter. And this multiplier limits the current flowing through the meter so that it does not exceed the value of full scale deflection of the meter, and thus prevents the movement of being damaged. So here, to extend the range of voltmeter, we are adding resistance in series with the basic meter, and the property should be the resistance value should be very high, such that more voltage drop occurs across the multiplier resistance and minimum voltage drop occurs across the meter, and the total voltage will be the voltage across the instrument. So in this manner, the multiplier will be designed and the value of multiplier resistance should be more. Note, the materials used for multipliers are manganese and constantan. Manganese and constantan. Coming to properties of multiplier. The resistance should not change with respect to time. The change in their resistance with the temperature should be small. That is, temperature variable resistor should be small. The resistance variation should be small with respect to temperature. They should be non-inductively wound for AC meters. Extension of range of ammeters. For ammeters, shunts are used for extension of range of ammeter. So a good shunt should have the following properties. The temperature coefficient of shunt should be low. The resistance of shunt should not vary with respect to time. They should carry current without excessive temperature rise. Just now we have discussed. They should have thermal electromotive force with copper. Manganese is used for DC shunts and constantan is used for AC shunts. Important question. The shunt of an ammeter is made up of, in option, manganese will be there. So answer will be manganese. If we are using for DC, we are using manganese. If we are using for AC, constantan. Manganese and constantan are used for making shunts. So see here, this is one of the example of shunt. So actually we need to measure a current of 100 amperes. But our instrument, this is ammeter, can able to measure a current of maximum 1 ampere. 1 ampere. So to use this ammeter to measure this current, we are connecting a resistor in parallel with the existing ammeter such that the maximum of current will be diverted through this shunt such that this meter can able to measure this large current with the design of this full scale deflection. Okay, so this is how we are extending the range of the meter. Now extension of MC ammeter using a shunt. So for a generalized case, let us assume an ammeter having a resistance of Rm and the current through meter will be Im. So we are using this meter to measure a current of capital I amperes. For that we are connecting a shunt resistance RSH called ammeter shunt, and the current which is flowing through the shunt will be ISH. ISH. So total I is equal to, so at this node if we apply KCL, Incoming current is I and outgoing currents are ISH and IM. So I is equal to IM plus ISH. ISH. Okay, so what is shunt? Shunt is a low resistance conductor connected in parallel with an ammeter to extend its range. For ammeter, PMMC is used as indicating device. The current capacity of PMMC is small, so it is impractical to construct a PMMC coil which can carry a current greater than 100 milliamperes. So therefore, shunt is required for measurement of large currents. So just now we assumed these parameters. Let Rm indicates the internal resistance of the coil in ohms. RSH indicates resistance of shunt in ohms, and Im indicates full scale deflection of the current of the meter, and ISH is the shunt current in amperes, and the capital I indicates the current to be measured in amperes. Current to be measured in amperes. Now, in this case, since the shunt resistance is in parallel with meter movement, the voltage drop across shunt and moment must be same. So total current I is equal to the sum of shunt current plus meter current. Now the shunt current will be given as ISH. So this is will be given as, if we take this to left side, I minus Im. Is equal to I minus Im. And the voltage drop across meter will be IMRM, and it is connected in parallel with shunt. The current flowing through shunt will be I minus Im. Total current is I, and in that a part of this current will be going through meter. So then remaining Is equal to I minus Im into Rs will be equal to Im Rm. Im Rm. So from this, if we derive the expression for RSH will be equal to Im Rm by, so this left side multiplier will taken into right side, then it will becoming denominator I minus Im. So you divide both numerator and denominator with respect to Im, then it will become, so Im get cancelled, then Rm. So in denominator, I by Im minus Im by Im. So it will be 1. So let us assume this I by Im as multiplying factor n. Then this RSH shunt resistance will be given as Rm by n minus 1. Rm is the meter resistance, n is the multiplying factor, RSH is the shunt resistance. The ratio of total current to be measured to the full scale deflection of the current is called as multiplying power of the shunt. And in this case, we are denoting with n, where n is equal to I by Im. So note down, very important, this RSH will be equal to Rm by n minus 1. Very important. In problems, we are going to use this formula to remember. For ammeter, this factor n minus 1 will be coming in denominator. So you observe, for meter we are connecting in parallel, and in a similar line we are placing in denominator. You remember somehow, RSH shunt resistance will be equal to Rm by n minus 1, where m is the multiplying factor. N is equal to I by Im. where Im is the full scale deflection of the meter, and this capital I will represent the total current which is applied across the instrument. Now for voltmeter, to extend the range of voltmeter. So voltmeter is a electrical device, electrical voltage measuring device. It is always connected in parallel with circuit whose value to be measured. Therefore, it should have a high value of resistance. So remember, always voltmeter is connected in parallel. Hence, the operating coil of an voltmeter should have large turns of thin wires, but it is not sufficient. Therefore, a high value of resistance connected in series with operating coil, and deflection torque is produced by current flowing through operating coil, which is proportional to the voltage applied across the meter. So actually, to measure higher voltages, it is not possible with the existing basic voltmeter. To increase the range of this voltmeter, we are connecting a resistance of high value in series with the basic meter to extend the range of meter to required value to be measured. So that's why extension of range of voltmeter. The range of voltmeter can be extended by using multiplier. By connecting a multiplier in series with the coil, we can extend the range of the voltmeter. So actually what is multiplier? A multiplier is a high resistance element connected in series with voltmeter to extend the range. To extend the range of voltmeter, we are connecting a resistance in series. So that resistance we are calling it as multiplier. For ammeter, to extend the range, what we are doing, we are connecting a shunt. The name itself indicates it is in parallel. Multiplier, it is in series. Okay. Now the properties of multiplier. Uh, it has low temperature coefficient of resistance. Its resistance should not change with respect to time. They have negligible inductance. So this is the connection diagram for extending the range of meter. So actually this is our basic meter, and it can be able to measure a small voltage, small v. But to use this meter to measure this much supply voltage, we are connecting a series resistance in series. We are connecting a resistance in series. This resistance we are calling it as multiplier. Multiplier. So in this case, the meter can able to measure small v voltage, but it is used to measure the voltage of supply voltage capital V, and the meter current is Im, meter resistance is Rm. We are connecting a series resistance of Rs. Rs. So this is the circuit diagram for extension of range of voltmeter. This is supply voltage. This is across load. We are connecting a voltmeter to measure the voltage. So see here, we are connecting in parallel. Meter we are connecting in parallel with the load, and resistance in series with the meter. So multiplier in series with the meter. So let V indicates the voltage to be measured, and small v is the voltage across the meter. Im indicates full scale deflection of current, Then capital R indicates the resistance in series with a coil to extend the range. Rm indicates the voltmeter resistance. The ratio of total voltage to be measured to the voltage across voltmeter for which it is accurately designed is known as multiplying factor, and let us assume this multiplying factor is m. M is equal to capital V by V. Capital V is the total voltage to be measured and small v is the voltage of the meter. Then this capital V by small v. So voltage across meter will be current flowing through meter and meter resistance. So this Im Rm, and so we are connecting this R series resistance in series with the meter. So current in circuit is same. So Im is same, and the total resistance will be R plus Rm. R plus Rm. Total supply voltage will be Im into R plus Rm, and the voltage of meter will be Im Rm. So this we will discuss once again. So here the current flowing is Im and resistance will be Rm. The meter voltage will be small v is equal to Im Rm. So this is the series circuit. So in series circuit current flowing is same. So what is that current? Im. And in this circuit the resistance Rs and Rm are in series. So total resistance in this branch will be Rm plus Rsh. So in parallel, so this voltage, supply voltage will be equal to the net voltage across this parallel branch. So this net voltage will be the total resistance is equal to Rm plus Rs E series resistance into current flowing in this branch. That current is Im. So supply voltage will be equal to Im into Rm plus Rs. Okay, so we'll substitute here. Then capital V by small v equal to Im into Rs plus Rm divided by Rm Im. From this m will be the multiplying factor. M is equal to Im get cancelled. Then this R by Rm plus Rm by Rm 1. R by Rm plus 1. From this if we calculate Rm, so this 1 coming to the left side, then it will become minus m minus 1, and we need Rs equal to, if we take this side, Rm into m minus 1. RSE series resistance will be equal to Rm into m minus 1. Very important. See here, for extending the range of voltmeter, we are connecting a resistance called a multiplier in series with the basic meter, and its resistance will be given as Rse equal to Rm into m minus 1. Rse equal to Rm into m minus 1. So let us see some simple problem on this. The full scale deflection current of an ammeter is 1 milliampere and its internal resistance is 100 ohms. If this meter is to have scale deflection at 5 amperes, what is the value of shunt resistance should be connected? So for ammeter we need to calculate shunt resistance. Actually the meter can able to measure a current of 1 milliampere, and this meter we are using for 5 amperes. Okay, for increasing to 5 amperes we have to connect a resistance in parallel and we need to find out that resistance. So what is multiplying factor? 5 amperes by 1 milliampere will be the M. So we need to remember that formula RSH. RSH equal to Rm by M minus 1. So here we know Rm. M will be is 5 amperes to 1 milliampere minus 1. Calculate. Full scale deflection of meter Im is equal to 1 milliamperes. Instrument resistance, meter resistance will be equal to 100 ohms, and the current which is to be measured is 5 amperes, and we need to calculate the shunt resistance. Shunt resistance RSH equal to Rm by M minus 1, where Rm is equal to 100 ohms, M 5 by 1 milliampere, 1 milliampere. So actually it is 0.001 and the minus 1. Then we will calculate the RSH. So you assume, remember, always this shunt resistance value will be very smaller than the meter resistance. Then only we can extend the range. Similarly, you try to solve problems on extending the range of ammeters and voltmeters. Okay. So in this class, we have discussed mainly regarding extension of range of meters. Mainly, the shunt is used to extend the range of a meter, and the multiplication factor of the shunt M is equal to I by Im, and the shunt resistance RSH will be given as Rm by M minus 1. RSH equal to Rm by M minus 1. And the multiplying factor M is equal to I by Im for ammeters. And for voltmeters, to extend the range, we are using multiplier. Multiplier is a high resistance connected in series with the voltmeter to extend its range, and the multiplier resistance RSC will be given as Rm into M minus 1, where Rs is the multiplier resistance, M is the multiplication factor, is equal to capital V by small v. Rm is the meter resistance. Multiplication factor will be M is equal to capital V by small v, where capital V is the supply voltage, small v is the voltage drop across the meter. So in this topic, the frequently asked questions are uh, sometimes they are asking the essay question. Describe the methods of extend the range of ammeter. Or they are asking some problems on calculating the shunt value. Calculate the shunt required to extend the range of moving coil ammeter, which takes 20 milliamperes to measure 20 amperes. The resistance of the coil is 0.75 0.075 ohms. Similarly, on voltmeter, explain the use of multipliers for extension of range of voltmeter. A moving coil voltmeter has a resistance of 20 ohms and takes a current of 100 milliamperes. For a full scale deflection, calculate the value of resistance to be added in series with the voltmeter to measure the voltage of 500 volts. So like this they are asking the problems, and these problems are very important for competitive exams. and the board exams as well. So please you go through this video lesson once again, very important. And you remember the final conclusions. RSH will be equal to Rm by M minus 1, and RAC, series resistance, for extending range of voltmeter, RAC is equal to Rm into M minus 1. Okay. So today we are mainly focused on extending the range of voltmeter and ammeter. Okay. So today we will stop here. In the next class, we will discuss regarding the measurement of power. So actually, what is wattmeter? How this meter will be used to measure the power in existing circuit. So that we will discuss in the next video lesson. Thank you all of you. If you have any doubts, you can ask or you can put as a comment so that we will discuss in the next video lesson. Thank you all of you for your patient listening throughout the video lecture. So today we will stop here.